with like AK-47s and those kind of military type armament. So they're not going in there with like a simple shotgun or a simple pistol. They're going in there with various serious, as one of our presidents used to call it, weapons of mass destruction.
That's because, and you know what, and no gun control law is going to stop anyone from getting any type of weaponry that they so choose. So when folks come and say, you know, oh, well, we need these gun laws, for who? Because the criminals are damn sure not abiding by your little punk-ass law, you know, and it takes away from the everyday citizen to protect themselves or to have it in case of something that should happen. You got folks on the other end that say, well, that's stupid because everybody's armed. You got to worry about getting shot. Well, you got to worry about getting shot now, and you have no protection. So what would you rather have, a weapon and you get shot, or no weapon and get shot the fuck up? What choice do you want? I know for me, I'd rather have the weapon. If it was my day to die, at least I had something to protect myself with. Somebody just got the better of it. You know, I don't want to be out there just with nothing and then end up losing it. That's just my thought. You know, like, and like I said before, a lot of these simple-minded crimes wouldn't happen if these criminals knew that there's a strong possibility that you're going to run up on somebody to rob them. They're going to give you a parting gift to go with it. A lot of people are good at shooting. Not too many people are good at getting shot. So, you know, it's an argument that'll always be there, but I say give individuals their right to have whatever they need to, because if you don't, they're just going to get it illegally. So you'll never win this battle. It's like the war on drugs. The war on drugs is as old as I am. We know it was targeted for our people. We know what the intended target was, but then they tried to make it seem like, oh, we're trying to get these drugs off of the street. Well, explain to me how you're trying to get the same drugs that you're bringing in the country off the street. It doesn't make logical sense. You understand
well, like
what I'm saying?
I said,
it's a 46-year lie that continues to go on.
Like
you got brothers that's in prison with all these huge, you get less time for murder than you do for selling drugs. It doesn't make any kind of logical sense. You know what I'm saying? You got guys in prison now that have been there 20, 30, 40 years for drugs. People have killed folks and come home already. It's a bunch of bullshit.
It is, and like I've said on this show before, and I'll say it again. I've said it to just friends and acquaintances of mine. I agree. The war on drugs is a total misnomer. It is not a real war that they are actually trying to win, because it takes major income in order to bring the drugs in. And I don't know many brothers that actually own a plane or one of these big boats that they're saying are bringing in the drugs and everything.
Nothing.
Yeah.
So tell me how it gets here.
I don't know how it gets here. I think I did hear our bell, but before we get to the bell, I do need to mention one sad news as well, another sad news. But, you know, there's a disease that's supposed to have been eliminated, and apparently it is being stubborn. It is not being eliminated, but they said that measles cases have surpassed 700 as an outbreak continues unabated. It says the outbreak has been reported in 22 states, and children under the age of 5 account for about half of the cases. So definitely, if you have got some folks that have not been vaccinated, I would suggest that they do get vaccinated, because the measles outbreak continues to spread in the United States, surpassing 700 cases this year. Federal health officials said today the virus has now been found in 22 states. More than 500 of the 704 cases recorded as of last Friday were in people who had not been vaccinated, the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention reported. 66 people have been hospitalized. And as I'm looking at the states, I'm seeing Florida, I'm seeing Georgia, Tennessee, Baltimore, Maryland area, parts of New York, Iowa, California, and a number of other states as well. So definitely this is something that's going on. Says Los Angeles is now experiencing a fast-growing outbreak, and hundreds of university students who are thought to have been exposed and cannot prove that they have had their shots have been asked to quarantine themselves at home. Last week, the CDC said the number of cases had surpassed the previous high of 667 set in 2014. This year's outbreak is the largest since the disease was declared eliminated in the United States in 2000. In 1994, there were 963 cases. So, they say that elimination in 2000 meant measles viruses was no longer circulating in the United States, as it presumably had since European settlers first brought it to this hemisphere in the 15th or 16th century. Each year after 2000, a few cases arrived from overseas, either in immigrants or in returning tourists, but each outbreak was snuffed out. More than 94% of American parents vaccinate their children against measles and other diseases, Dr. Robert Redfield, director of CDC, has said on Monday. He said his agency is working to reach the small percentage of vaccine-hesitant individuals. He said vaccines are safe and do not cause autism. About 100,000 children in this country under age 2 have not been vaccinated, he said, meaning they are vulnerable in this outbreak. So definitely there are some folks out there that have not been immunized, and they are definitely urging these people to get immunized.
Well, you know what? Those are some of those geniuses that say, I'm not going to get my child vaccinated because the vaccines are going to kill them. So now you got all these people that are refusing to get their kids vaccinated, and now the outbreak comes, and everybody's sick now.
Exactly.
So pick your poison. Pick your poison, one or the other. Which one do you want?
No doubt.
But
I think I did hear. Did I hear a bell, Earl?
You heard the bell. We're going to bring them in just 1 second. A straight talk with Dean and Mark. Join the conversation at 646-668-8393.
Hi, I'm Danica Patrick. Watching my nieces grow, play, and learn is amazing, but not every child gets to be carefree. 1 in 6 kids in the U.S. are hungry. This breaks my heart, and it's something that Feeding America is working to change. Each year, the Feeding America network of food banks rescues billions of pounds of good food that would have gone to waste and gives it to families in need. To help, visit feedingamerica.org.
Brought to you by Feeding America and the Ad Council.
All right, a straight talk with Dean and Mark. Caller, you are on the line. Good evening and welcome.
Hello? Can the caller hear us?
I think they can, but let's try to back them out and bring them back in. Caller, you are on the air.
Good evening.
Hey, John, we've got John Brown on the air. I'd recognize that voice anywhere. How's it going, John?
I'm doing great. How y'all doing?
We're doing good.
Now, right?
Yeah, we hear you now. John,
okay.
For those of you that are not aware, and Dean, I know you do not know John, but John runs the jazz department over at Duke and has been a force, I would say, in the jazz community, as well as being a legal mind as well, because you got some folks that mix up different careers. So he is both a musician and a lawyer. So we're going to talk about how he blends that, because sometimes I think it's the right brain versus the left brain, but he does all of these amazing things. But I think I first learned about John when he was doing some great things with Duke, bringing in some amazing artists. And, of course, he's been playing himself for a number of years and is just an amazing artist in his own right. And they have a jazz jam that has been going on. It'll be actually on to, I don't know if it's scheduled for this week or if y'all are done for this semester, but it's been going on for a number of years at the Mary Lou Williams Center. And it may even be record setting. I don't know if it's the longest one, because I know Brett has been doing his open mic, but you may have Brett beat, but you'll have to tell me if you've got Brett beat in terms of doing a jam session or something of that nature. I know his is more of open mic and yours is more of a jam session, but I don't know who's got who beat, but you can explain that to us, as well as the importance of jazz to the community. So we'll just start off with the first question, which is, what got you into jazz?
Well, first of all, thank you for letting me come and talk a little bit about what I do and the life I love to live. I guess to appropriately answer the question, I should give a little bit of background that I started out as a young person in a musically oriented family. My mother plays piano. My grandmother sang in the choir, and a few of her sisters sang in the choir also. Excuse me. And I started playing piano when I was 5 years old. And I didn't like it, so I quit. And I started playing the bass when I was 9, and I haven't looked back since then. I started playing in the orchestra then, and I realized that I loved music so much, and it was a great outlet for me. And I just found opportunities to play every kind of music that I possibly could wherever the bass could fit. So I played in the Fayetteville Symphony. So I was born and raised in Fayetteville. Played in the Fayettille Symphony. I started playing shows at Fort Bragg, which got me doing a little bit more leading in the jazz direction. And then, in fact, during my days at the Fort Bragg Playhouse, I got to play with Ray Covington. That's where he and I first met. And, of course, meeting with Ray, it didn't take long for jazz to come up. And between Ray and the piano player named Paul Scott and a trombone player named Richard Jones and a saxophone player named Tom Gavin, and a vibraphone player named Malachi Sharp. All these people reached out to me when I was in my mid-teens and put jazz on my radar. So I started playing classical and jazz, and I'm blessed to continue that and live the life doing it.
And you're doing an amazing job with that. You definitely are enjoying what you're doing. Every time I see you, it looks like you're thoroughly enjoying the music that you play and enjoying the life that you live, that you just put in everything. Now, just out of curiosity, what was it about, because I didn't even know that about you, John, what was it about the piano that you did not like? I mean, because I've always known you as a bass player and as even a creator of bands of your own and everything, but what, as a young child, was it about the piano that you did not like?
I have to say, looking back on it as I guess I was between 5 and 7 during that time. I think a part of it was just being forced to do it. My mother, like I said, plays the piano, and my parents are both retired teachers, and we used to watch, my sister and I used to have to watch PBS. So they were kind of putting us on this path, and when you're 5 or 6, I wanted to be outside playing. I didn't want to be inside playing the piano. And I was like, Mom, you already do this. You kind of got that. So let me find my thing. So I don't know that it was anything other than just being a 6-year-old child. I wish I had stuck with it. And in fact, I don't have many regrets in life, but that's one. I wish I had stuck with it because now, I've gotten this past a little bit, but in my late teens, when I decided that I really wanted to take music seriously, I would go to try to write some music or go to try to figure something out, and I had to take just a few more steps because I had not continued it. But the piano and I have made up. We're friends now. So,
you've made up. You're not mad at the piano anymore. That's a good thing.
Right.
Now, one of the things we talked about on this show in the past is the fact, and I was just wondering your thoughts on this, is that you just brought up the fact of having grown up and watching PBS and things of that nature, and also having been trained in music at an early age. I mean, part of that was through the church, I understand, and part of it might have been through the school system. But it's been the argument of several of our guests in the past that we're not doing a good enough job in terms of teaching our kids through some of the traditional mediums, be that public television, be that music education, or things of that nature at a young age. Is that something that you have found? Because, you're on the college setting, and I imagine that some of these people, that when they come to you at the college setting, you might wish that they were further along than they actually are. And I was just wondering some of your views on where we are in terms of music education, and it's something. Do you think it's something that we've lost sight of?
Well, I certainly do wish that many of our students are as far along as they think they are. That is certainly the case. But no, I am a poster child and a product of for and a product of public education. I was schooled in the public schools. I went to public schools all in grade school. I went to UNCG undergrad, and I went to law school at Chapel Hill, all public schools. And just in addition to that, I will tout being a good citizen of North Carolina because, in part, the reason that I play the bass is because I got to see Duke Ellington's band perform on PBS because, like I mentioned, my parents made us watch that. So I remembered seeing the bass players playing in a Duke Ellington's band on TV shortly before they came through to start orchestra in our school. So I remembered seeing the instrument first and kind of getting a real, aside from being in person, a real look at it on television, watching PBS. And then beyond that, I really decided that I wanted to go into music because North Carolina